All right, guys, today we're going to be going over a futures prop firm day trading strategy that I use to pass 20 Apex 50K evals today. Apex actually has a really good sale going on right now. It's like their holiday or Christmas sale or whatever, 90% off all the different accounts. So, I was buying these 50K evals for less than 20 bucks. It was like $19.60 or something. So I bought 20 of them. I thought today was going to be a good day. I've been feeling really confident about my day trading recently. Been doing a lot of back testing work and a lot of, trading. I've been trading pretty much every single day throughout 2025, but doing a lot of, extra back testing, studying, stuff like that. A lot of work with inverse fair value gaps lately. So I was ready to go with 20 Apex evals, and I want to show you, how this went today, what strategy I used, and hopefully, show you guys how you can pass more of your evals in 2026. We're getting ready for the new year. We're getting ready for new goals, new Year's resolutions, all of that good stuff. So this is what NQ looked like today on December 11th of 2025. This was the pre-market right here. This is our 929 candle on the 1 minute chart. And we can zoom out because first of all, my first step of the day is figuring out where we are. I want to see if we're high up in the recent range. I want to see if we're down low. I want to see if we're in premium, discount, whatever, and then start mapping out where the, important levels of liquidity are. Because if we're in premium, if we're really high up, in the recent range, I'm going to be looking for shorts. If we're low down, if we're, heavy in discount, I'm going to be looking for longs. And if we, the ideal trade that I'm looking to take is something that has also swept some kind of, like important level of liquidity and then gone the opposite way. That's what I'm definitely looking for. So we can zoom out here a little bit and we can start to see that right now, when the market was opening, we're actually right in the middle. You can see there's plenty of room, down below us. In this area here, we get down all the way to like 25,385. This was December 10th at like 10 p.m. So kind of the night before we dipped way down. But then during the previous day, right before close, we got all the way up here. I don't know. This is like, this is into 25,870. So right now we're kind of dead in the middle. I wouldn't necessarily say, that we're clearly in like discount or premium or anything like that. So I am knowing that I'm going to want to be patient, but I can start to map out what some of these big, areas of liquidity are. We have, something around like right here, if we sweep this area of liquidity, I could be looking to take some longs. Definitely if we sweep this big area of liquidity down here, all the way down, and then going up, there's maybe a level of liquidity here, maybe I'll start drawing out some of these lines. Maybe there's a level of liquidity here, maybe a level of liquidity here. But again, definitely if we sweep this level of liquidity up here, again, if we sweep through any of those are areas where I'd be looking to take shorts because, if we do get to any of these white lines, not only would we be in premium once again, but we'd also be, sweeping through a major level of liquidity, getting a bunch of those people out, and then, the market can often reverse. And then again, on the downside, some of the areas I'd be looking at is like, I don't know, maybe this level here, maybe this level here, and then definitely this level here. So those are kind of the three main areas that I'd be looking for. Again, right now it's not really clear to me. So this isn't, some days you're really strongly at a premium or you're really strongly at a discount and you're looking like, hey, right when market opens, I might be taking a trade right away. This is a day where I was pretty sure it was going to take a little bit longer because it's, to get to any of these levels, it might take a little bit. And honestly, this is a day where if we don't really, show any strong market movement one way or the other, this might be a day where I don't take any trades, where I might just sit out. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see where the market, what the market gives us. So we can actually start going a little bit and seeing what the heck happened. We can start, I didn't mean to go like that, but we can start zooming in a little bit and getting an idea of what is going on. So here is our 931, our 930 candle right at market open, the start of the New York session. Online, I'm ready to go. We have a big drop. This is going from 641 down to, below 600. This is like a 50-point move right at open. Nice big red candle. We're getting close to that first area of liquidity where, again, if we sweep that, I could be looking to take some longs. I would like to sweep, more levels of liquidity, more important levels of liquidity, more drastic levels of liquidity, but whatever. We'll see what happens. Again, we're looking for those big fair value gaps. Now, right at the beginning, not only does the 930 candle end up forming a fair value gap, again, I can show you guys this real quick. We can draw this out. We do get a fair value gap formed here, from the 930 candle. We also sweep this level of liquidity. So the interesting thing about this was if we did end up inversing this little box that I've made, I could take this trade, But I didn't know if that was enough in discount. And again, that fair value gap is so big. By the time we took and inversed that fair value gap fully, we would kind of already be so high up that I was like, oh man, if this does end up inversing, is this even a trade I want to take? I wasn't really sure, but I was kind of hoping that honestly wouldn't be what happened, because again, that's not necessarily a trade I would love. I would love to be way, way, way more in discount and for things to be way more clear. But that is a big fair value gap, a pretty sizable fair value gap that we did get right at the open. And, it would have been interesting if we did inverse that right away, what would have happened. But as this played out, again, the market, we chopped around for a little bit, but then we started, we looked like we might go lower. We kind of came back up. This is by 9:35 now. We're chopping around. And then eventually, a couple minutes later, things started tanking. Again, we didn't really have anything here. We had this kind of candle go up, but again, we never inverted this fair value gap. We never broke through this fair value gap. We never invalidated it, anything like that. But again, around 9:45, 6, 7, 8, we just start tanking down and we start approaching these next levels of liquidity. And again, how this should work out is once we start pushing down towards that next level of liquidity, we should likely reach there. And once we get to that next level, something's going to happen. It's either going to sweep through it and go back up, or it's going to continue down and go and breaking through it. We're going to have to watch out for what happens there. We did get to that next level. We broke through it. We came back up, and then we broke through it again, and we started going lower. So we're going to zoom out a little bit now. Maybe we'll just even drag this down a little bit. And the market just kind of kept tanking. This is crazy. Again, we opened at, 25,642. We're now at 25. So we're talking about like a 250 point down move or something like that. What is that? 100 or close to a 250 point down move. Pretty crazy stuff. Market just tanking hard and hard and hard. So again, in the pre-market, I wasn't really sure if we were in premium or discount, but now we are pretty confidently in discount. We are looking for longs at this point if a good long setup, does kind of arise. But we're still waiting. We have a fair value gap forming here. This one could maybe be usable. This one could be okay. It's not a big one, not anything crazy, but definitely a fair value gap going on there, something like that. It's not drawn perfectly, but there was one. We're seeing kind of fair value gaps all over the place. We're seeing a bunch of little ones, not anything too significant, not anything too crazy. Here's another one, like right in here, we could maybe use from the 953 candle, maybe the 956 candle. So those are kind of the plays I'm looking out for now. And then finally, we get really, really close to this next level of liquidity. Again, we have broken through this one. We got down to this next one, but we didn't, at 10 o'clock, we did not get all the way down to that next important level of liquidity. So that was kind of a strike against this trade. That was something I didn't necessarily love. I was worried like, hey, why did we not sweep that next level of liquidity? And oftentimes when you don't sweep that next level of liquidity, that means your longs are not going to work and we're probably going to go lower. But something that I did like about this long setup is that we had been tanking so far down. We were so overextended far away. And once you get so many standard deviations away from like your open or away from, VWAP or away from where you've been, the market tanks so hard, so fast that I thought it was still valid to take longs, that I thought longs were still in play. So while this setup did not work out perfectly, again, it would have been way, way, way more perfect if we actually had this 10 o'clock candle, if the wick would have swept below this line, then started going up. But what we did get is eventually, you see if I drag this fair value gap out a little bit, you can see here that we did end up inverting this fair value gap from 956. This 1002 candle did invert it. So this is where I decided to get in. Again, I wasn't totally confident in this. I don't think this is like the most S plus insane setup in the world, but I thought it was worth taking. And I felt confident in this because I took this on 20 Apex evals. I took this on 5 Tops Up evals, and I took it on my personal account as well. All obviously for like varying different sizes and stuff like that. On my personal account, I was trading, I think like 5 micros, and then on my Tops Up evals, I was trading 5 minis, and on my Apex evals, I was trading 5 minis as well. So let's look at this with 5 minis and kind of see how this trade played out. Or I'm just going to take it on 1 micro or 1 mini because that's generally my normal trading size. Once I actually get to funded, usually on my personal account, I'm doing 5 fund, or I'm doing 1 mini, or like 1 NQ contract. But I didn't feel super confident about this one, so I did want to size down a little bit. But you can see here with 1 NQ contract, if we put this, if we put our stop loss at the bottom of the candle that formed the fair value gap, you can see it's a trade risking $435, which is totally fine for me. That's normal. I like to risk somewhere between like 400 and 750, somewhere in there. 300 to 750 I think is really, really fine for my personal account and for normal 50K funded accounts and stuff like that. So that is what I set up. And then again, obviously where we were looking for it to go was back to, one of these levels of liquidity. I think, you had an opportunity to maybe take some profit here where this wick formed, which again, you would have had $1,500 of profit from one NQ contract. And then if we go all the way up, I think here was another kind of price target you could have taken. And if you were feeling really, really, really aggressive and really loving this setup, which again, I wasn't necessarily, you could have taken it up to here for $5,000 of profit. You could have taken it all the way up to here for like $5,500 of profit, but I ended up aiming for right about here. I ended up aiming for $4,000 of profit, and you guys can see how this trade played out. Again, I entered right here on this 10:02 candle, and then this went very, very well. As soon as we inverted this fair value gap, things just exploded all the way up. It ended up breaking through this liquidity level here. By this white line, we ended up breaking through here, and we ended up getting all the way back to this liquidity line up here. We just didn't touch it. I had some take profit lines up here. They actually didn't stop out, but as we started to tank back down, I just manually exited out of the trade because again, I wasn't necessarily loving this as like an S plus setup or anything like that. So I did just kind of lock in at that point, and this trade was way, way, way more than enough to get all of my Apex accounts funded. It was way more than enough to get my full profit for my Top Step evals. So going into tomorrow, I'm now going to have 20 Top Step evals, 20 Top Step 50K fundeds ready to go, and 20 50K Apex fundeds ready to go, and 5 Top Step 50K fundeds ready to go. Also, I was able to hit a nice little win on my personal account as well, so that was nice to get some profit back there. So again, I just thought this was a very, very nice setup. Again, we found out that we were heavily in discount. We didn't sweep all the levels of liquidity, but since we were so heavily in discount, once we formed that fair value gap down here at this 956 candle, we broke through that fair value gap. We totally inverted the fair value gap. We ripped through it very, very nice and explosively. We had so much room to run up. And then honestly, we did kind of come back down, but if you would have stayed in this thing all day, you can see here that later on the market did end up going all the way back up, and we ended up breaking through all of these levels of liquidity. So you could have just held this into an absolute massive, massive, massive winner. Now, you would have been in this trade all day. You would have been into the after hours, whatever. But if you felt really confident in it, you could have held it for some insane gains. Again, I kind of got out a lot earlier than that because I was feeling a little bit iffy. But still, I think this was a valid enough setup. And I think it was the best kind of trade that I was able to identify in the markets today. And it went very well. And it has me positioned really, really good, passing all my evals at once with just one opportunity. And again, with that insane Apex discount that's going on right now, it's a great time. And I'm sure Apex is going to have plenty of awesome discounts throughout 2026 as well. So this is a strategy and kind of a game plan and my thought process for how I was able to pass my evals. Hopefully you guys can use that to pass more of your evals and have a higher success rate and all that stuff. But not only does this work for evals, this works for funded, this works for personal accounts as well. So go out there and yeah, happy trading. Good luck, guys. Pretty much it for this video today. Hope I catch you the next one. Until then, peace.